Hello there and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. This is Alpha 11 now, we're officially there as you can see on the top left. And so for our creative mode I wanted to do a little themed episode on trimming the fat on CVs, both in terms of weight and of course CPU, which is the highlight of this update. So I've got here my very first capital vessel. Yeah, it doesn't look very good, I realise that, you don't need to tell me. But this was my very first one, and I'm not very good at designing CVs anyway. But I've made a bunch of tweaks to it, and in case you did watch the last one, I was basically upgrading everything to hardened steel blocks, which does, well, three things. One, it reinforces the armour, of course. Two, it makes the vessel quite a bit heavier. And three, it eats into the CPU, which isn't very good, of course. So with all of these changes, well, let me show you an old version of it. So this is an old version of it. Yeah, look at the front. That is disgusting, isn't it? I mean, that's not great, but I'm still going to work on that. I feel like it's got some big chin. Like a big chin on a ship. Anyway, this just has exclusively steel blocks. Now take a look at the CPU. 422,000. Of course, it's without the CPU extenders. I just spawned this in. I don't really know what else this has on it. I mean, maybe it's got more engines, probably less engines if anything, a few less devices, if I had to guess. Definitely has less container extensions. Over here though, with hardened steel blocks all around, 498,000. Now that was at 501,000, but what I did is I trimmed the fat. So aside from making it lighter, what I did, you see all these are hardened steel blocks. I've not textured the regular steel blocks. I've done the edges here, regular steel blocks, and that actually, so this doesn't actually go into the ship itself. Any block that doesn't go into the ship and isn't the sort of first line, the last line of defense, I've turned into regular steel blocks. Now a hardened steel block, one of these, about 25 CPU, something like that, or is it 22? I don't know if they're all the same. I'm not actually sure if they're all the same with the CPU. I'm sure that information is out there. It also weighs 2 tons. Now a steel block, you're looking about, as well as half the weight, half the CPU usage. Yeah, about 12 or so, 12.5 if I had to guess, with hardened steel being 25. So you actually get CPU if you make your ship a little bit lighter. And then you've got carbon substrate, you can take it beyond that. And you get 10% of the weight, 100 kilos, 10 of these blocks equal 1 steel block. So that makes a lot of sense for your interiors. And also for CPU you're looking at about 5 to 6, something like that. Maybe at 6.5 then, or 6, I don't know. CPU. So yeah, I've basically done the exterior. I've made this all carbon substrate because this really is just for show. But you've got other blocks on the side here that are steel blocks. That could probably be yeah, this could be. So I could even turn this into a regular steel block as well. So what block is this? We're looking at connector blocks, aren't we? Oh goodness me, what the hell are you doing? Right, there we go. Numlock on, as usual. Always messes me up, the numlock. There we go. So we've got that one there. Probably the same around here. Probably should be in symmetry mode, but hey ho. That's absolutely fine. There we go. And it's just little things like that that really help. They really do help. So all on here I've got steel blocks. I've already done this before. All on here, steel blocks, but I've textured it in. So yeah, that really does make a difference. This is all hardened steel. I need to actually upgrade this. So I still need to... I'm only going to be moving some of the hardened steel across to here, basically. But I've managed to keep it now under the 500,000 mark, whereas before it was at 501,000. Now, what I've done as well on the inside, as I mentioned, carbon substrate can be used instead if it's your interior. So as the scene here, this goes up to the warp drive, which has lots of hardened steel over it. So there's no sense in this being steel blocks. This can all just be carbon substrate, assuming it doesn't connect to the outside, like here. See, this all connects outside. So all of this is now carbon substrate. So aside from saving on weight, which, as it turns out with Alpha 11, looks like it's going to be even more of an issue, because I'm having trouble with, let's turn this on, shall we? With mobility. So the weight of it now is 2.65, it was at 2.8, but I am definitely getting performance. No, actually this isn't bad. much better than I was expecting. The roll is so-so. This is still slow. Now, thruster placement is also a thing. Yeah, that's long. The turn is, for a CV, I mean, of this size you'd expect a little bit better. But this is meant to be basically an upgradable T2 CV. So, yeah, there you go. 500,000 is your CPU statistics. And this is meant to be very upgradable. So, you'll go down to your core once you've got the resources, you've got the 2 CPU extensions. You'll replace this one here. It's the engineering deck. You'll put one there, one on the other side, and you'll go from 500,000 to 1.5 million. And so this will be your T2, T3 CV. Anyway, we've got some work to do on the inside. I want to get more CPU. Too many acronyms here. See if I can lower this a bit more. I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting a small constructor in here for like resources. Say you go mining and you've got like a small constructor just to process all of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start work on here. So let's take a look at that number again. We're at 498,796. This is all steel. And it doesn't need to be. None of this needs to be steel along here, this wall here. Of course I'm going to have to redecorate everything, but that's fine. It's all part of the fun. So let's get rid of all this. Oh, that was already carbon substrate. Shit outdoors. Okay, so that's it. What about here? What have we got? Hardened steel, so we can probably go a little bit further. That's hardened steel, and again here we can get rid of these 2 blocks, make them carbon substrate. And before we put, you know what? Let's actually put everything in here in. Oh my goodness, let's move into position first. There. There. So, take a look at it now. 498,607. That didn't seem to do much, did it? Not really. It did a bit, but it didn't do a whole lot. That was a little bit of an anticlimax. I was hoping it'd be like a bit more. But yeah, your interiors, I mean, they shouldn't be getting inside. If they get inside, then, well, you're screwed anyway. So, yeah, they shouldn't be doing that. But, yeah, that needed about... Was it 967? No, 496? I don't even know what the original number was. Never mind, doesn't matter. But if you look at the weight, and I was taking a little bit off, and that is just one wall. So it's just a way to trim the fat down, which is something you want to do. For instance, this disgusting wall here. Honestly, this was my first ever CV, so please don't be too harsh on the disgusting interior. That's one of the new ventilator blocks. I really love the new ones, actually. Might make it the slopey one instead. Maybe better. Something else you can do, as you can see here, this is all container extension, mostly, apart from this middle section here to separate them both. So these, they don't look like it, but they've actually got 216,000 each connected to this advanced constructor. Now, since this is a T2, you can have an advanced constructor. It's still within, like, it's still level 10, I believe. But I could save 20,000 CPU by taking this down one level, and I'll just upgrade it later in the campaign. That is something I can do. So, yeah, 20,000 CPU I could save. What I do want to do, I think, is build some extensions here. Because I want like a loot box, if that makes sense. Say you're raiding a POI. Again, these acronyms are killing me, man. We want a container, or a container and some extensions, just to throw in all of our loot, which we will then later sort out into the 2 sections, the input and the output. Yeah, I think that sounds like a good idea. Could do some of this floor instead. I don't know that line there. Maybe put it here. I might try and use the kitchen. The problem with the extension blocks is there's very little variety in terms of textures. So where's our extension? Thank you. And of course we need the controller. Alright. Is that the way we want it? Probably not like that. I think we probably do just want it like this. Maybe we'll just start off with a few blocks, because they do cost quite a bit of CPU. So if you go along here, CPU 960. Okay, I didn't realize it was that much. So I add just one. We're over it again. We are already over it. There we go. Okay, interesting. So that gives us a challenge. Can we take it down that much? Well, there's only one way to find out. Problem is, I don't really want half of this being textured one way, half of this being textured another way. But I think it might be possible. So we'll start off by trimming the fat, like I was saying earlier. I've already done this section here. It's already carbon composite. And this here is disgusting, I know that much. But probably do something here. All these disgusting steel walls. A horrible bright green. Oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. Still going to make them walls though. Make them even lighter. 62.5 kilos. That is absolutely nothing. That is a featherweight. Absolute featherweight. So let's do this. And then we want the double block here. There we go. Makes it a little bit lighter. We've got some steel blocks around here somewhere. There we go. This is separating them. This is all container extension, that's a steel block. Let's throw in some carbon. Alright. Not bad. And over here we've got some more. You can see where this is going. Another little tip I've got for CV building, which I'm the last person who should really be offering advice. Use the long stairs, because more often than not when you come down on a planet, you will either use elevators or the long stairs. Don't use the short ones, but if you do come down on a planet and you park a little bit sideways, even like this, it can really affect you getting up the stairs without using your jetpack. So yeah, I recommend the long stairs, just makes it a little bit easier. What have we got up here that we can change in the new bridge? Just look a bit crap, but like I say, still better than that atrocity over there. This does not need to be hardened steel. This can be... oh, that does actually. That's the only one that needs to be hardened steel. So what was it? We had these sort of little half blocks like that. That's the one. Over here. Something very similar. No, it needs to be that. There we go. Over here. And then we're just going to make these a half wall block of... actually, do you know what? Make this even lighter. We can make this like that. There we go. I've already done the floor here, so that's only taken off maybe 1,000 if so. But it is a way, if you are just on that cusp, you're just that 1,000 over, like I was earlier. I was only 1,000 over, and let's say I was happy with everything else. I could have just changed the interior. There's still a few steel blocks I can change over here. These ones, for instance, these are more I can change. The wall blocks here, this is all steel. This does not need to be steel. This can be carbon substrate. Just a way to trim the fat. What I'm going to do here, I think, is remove one of these at least. And devices as well. That's another thing to think about. So you'll see over here, down here, we've got this much fuel. Alright. We've got this much O2. Let's go to our O2. Let's say we've completely filled this up. So in order to do that, I'm actually going to need some O2. So let's go fill all. How much do we actually need? 104%. We don't need this many O2 tanks. So what we're going to do is we'll take, maybe just alternate these out a little bit. Because these themselves, they use some CPU. Look at that. Look at that. It's taken a few thousand off. I think 5 of these are good enough. I could probably make them... I don't know, give me room to put something else, I guess, in here. So if I squeeze in one area, then I've got like an extra area for probably not a shield generator. I think a shield's got to go up here, hanging down from the ceiling. I think is the only place I found. Same with O2 station. You only need one, really, don't you? Armor locker. How many do you actually need? Now I've got this for my ammo extension. I don't think we need this much room. 56,000 seems a little bit heavy. So what I'm actually going to do, I'll take this all back one. And possibly... maybe I do need that. I don't think so though. Let's bring around this section. Just put it in the wall here. Thinking this is all we need. How much is that? 24,000? If we need more, we've got the room to extend it, which is the kind of the idea. I kind of want to make that a cargo box. What's this? Hardened steel. This goes outside, doesn't it? Or does it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, that's a full block. Because I will forget to texture this. Alright, there we go. We'll come back to this. I'm probably going to redo this anyway. So where are we now? 49,000. 497,000 rather, to be more accurate. So over here we've got a little bit of room, like a loot box. That's what I want this to be. And what I also want are some extra cargo boxes. That's another thing. I want one for O2, for instance. We've already got one for Pentaxic down here. That's where I keep it. I don't know why there, but that's just where it is these days. We could probably put one here for spare ammo mods slash a sell box is something else I want. I like the idea of a box of just stuff, the items that you sell. So I think that uses 960 CPU, that uses double the amount. We are at 497,000, so we can at least put two down. So like I say, a sell box there, I think works out quite nicely. Items that we would sell at traders. We then want a separate box, possibly for fuel and O2. I'd quite like. Perhaps this style cargo box is nice. And there we go, we are just under. Still going to do a few tweaks here and there. How's the weight of it looking? The weight's come down a little bit more as well. Another fantastic feature about Alpha 11 is in the statistics it gives you the capabilities of this thing. So 11.9 kilotons is the most that it can lift. The current weight of it is 2.58, just to give you an idea. So we can carry a fair bit, I would say. Fairly reasonable amount. So that's good. Minimum liftoff thrust, that, I guess. The output thrust is 136. Yeah, I mean, these numbers can be a bit to me. But let's give it a test run, shall we? Let's see what it's like running on empty. The only way to really test it is to throw it in survival. I would definitely recommend pilot mode. That's kind of the idea, is they want you to use pilot mode a little bit more, especially for CVs. But this is it empty. It should fly quite easily when it is empty like this. So I think that's alright. Obviously the ramp at the back does come in. There is a manual switch. Back when I only used manual switches, like I say, this is back in Alpha 7 or 8 I designed this. I think it might be in Alpha 8. Possibly. But yeah, that rolls kind of well. Could always move a thruster back. That might help. So let's continue to play around with this. I've got this thruster here. Now, I don't know if I want it there. Instead I could move it perhaps back here. In here. Might be an idea. Though here, if it gets blown up, all it does is still connected to the warp drive a little bit. So I'm thinking if I do that, because that you want it away from the centre of gravity. So the further back that is, the more dramatic an effect it will have. Like for instance, I've got one here. I've got the two thrusters going to the side there. What have we got upwards? Not a whole lot of upward thrust, but I guess I'd build, you know, you could build something else there. You could build a whole line of medium engines here once you upgrade to T3. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, because the roll is absolutely horrendous at the moment. And I'm not going to build it here, build it in here. That's what I want to do. Don't need that steel block, that's a bit more weight that can be trimmed. What's this? Hardened steel, so we will replace this with a hardened steel block. Just like so. That can probably be replaced also with a hardened steel block like that. So, no, that doesn't go anywhere, so also what is this about? That can be that now. You know what, this could probably just be a ramp like that. Keeping it as light and as cheap as possible. It does make it cheaper too. But then Sathium, you usually by this stage of the game you're at the snow planet, and you can quite easily get there. Though maybe not. Maybe this is still on your first planet you'd be building this. So yeah, it does help if it's not too horrifically expensive. Right, let's go throw in these engines. If I can get them the right way round. Alright, we're getting there. No, we're not. I'm being an absolute muppet. Well, I don't like the fact that they're sticking out. That's the only thing. That is the only thing I'm not a big fan of. Because they can easily be shot at. Their health isn't exactly 750, it's about the same as all the hardened steel blocks around it. But let's see if this You on? You are on. Why are the thrusters not on? No, they are on. Good. See if the roll's any better now. I would say there's an improvement. Wouldn't you? I would say there's a marginal improvement. So there you go, there's one way that you can get, and I think it even affects the turning slightly. Yeah, thruster placement, you see the difference that makes. I would say that's slightly better. So there you go, we've only got 2 medium thrusters on each side, and you can see the improvement in the performance there. So when you do upgrade this, you do upgrade the CPU, or the core rather, to treble your CPU. You can definitely add, then you would add another thruster there. You'd probably add another one here. I'm still going to play around with that because that looks just ridiculous. This isn't done yet. Thinking of pipe coming out, connecting to there. Wall pit here, so this bit doesn't look like it's sticking out stupidly. Yeah, that should be okay. Okay, that's pretty good progress. 499686, operating at 100% efficiency. We don't have room for our small constructor, which is a shame, but that's the only thing this thing is quite bad for, is the constructor. But we still have an advanced constructor, which is kind of cool. But I'm very tempted to bring this down to a normal constructor and throw in a small constructor there. That would give me 10,000 more CPU to play with. That's the only thing about that, which I might need to do because I'm about to add a bunch more blocks. So let's see. We can finish decorating this with the just over 300. Yeah, we have just over 300. So let's bring this. Bring this out. Use this pipe. Okay. No, does that look a big old pipe coming out the side? Don't know. Not too sure. Let's see how it looks first. Let's see if this is... Oh my goodness, I'm just being an absolute klutz right now. Yeah, I'm already not, like, a big fan. Just don't feel like this is going to look good. But then again, does anything look good about this thing? Not really. It's not too bad. Right, let's try it with this side then as well. So we've got this here. By the way, I am the slowest builder ever, which is why I'm really not fun to watch. Well, one of the many reasons aside from just being boring. I don't know, does that look a bit ridiculous? It also does mean that this block here, these blocks here are a little bit more vulnerable. What has that done to our CPU? That. Okay, I now need to upgrade some of these blocks here. So what I need are some hardened steel plates. Don't really want them in my toolbar, that's just taking up space. We need to go to upgrade. And yeah, these all need to be... How important is this room? This is the least important room. So I'm tempted, but then again, you're more likely to get shot at here, aren't you? This is interesting. What do I actually do? Down here's engineering. This is pretty interesting, but this also appears to be 2 blocks thick. Right? It is, isn't it? I believe it is. Looks like it, look. Yeah. I mean... Yeah, that's 2 blocks thick, so I don't think I need to do anything. I could upgrade it and then take off. Yeah, look at this. This is all regular steel. Okay, I don't think we need to make many changes here. What I think I'll do then is from this perspective. Yeah. Let's make some of this carbon substrate. And I do still want these to be hardened steel blocks. I absolutely do. What I can do is I can turn the steel blocks here into carbon substrate. We look at that. Does this come out? Okay, this actually does come out the bottom, that's fine. But we can probably, all along here, there, yeah, this goes outside. What about over here? This goes down here, this goes underneath. Over here, we can in fact, all this. Yeah, we've got room back here. Makes me think it should just be room for the CPU and all that, right? That doesn't need to be a steel block. This doesn't need to be steel. Right, let's... Yeah, you know what? I want that to be hardened steel all along the front there. So let's be pretty cost efficient here, shall we? We'll just make this a line of... It's like a waste of space. I won't lie, it does feel like a waste of space, but... We'll see what we can do. We have taken down the weight a little bit more, CPU ever so slightly. I want to see if we can make all of this. Yeah. Start at the bottom, this is more important. So just make sure, does this actually... This doesn't need to be... No, that does not need to be hardened steel, this bottom section here. Not at all. So this section here though, I think it can be. It's a bit of a laggy-son. Your regular steel. That all on here. You appear to be regular steel as well. You actually do connect in here. Let's just start one thing at a time. One thing at a time, alright? You connect to the... Okay, so this section here also doesn't really need to be either, because that connects to the wall, the floor section, doesn't it? Up here, I think we can have this be... Yeah. Looking at 499772. Alright, and over here, yeah, didn't mind making you. You're already hardened steel. You are as well, but you're on a corner, so I don't know if I need to make you. do need to be. Yeah, look, container extension. Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I think I might change this window as well, just because aesthetically I don't know if I like that corner bit. Might make it flat along the back here. I think that would help. It's a little bit too jarring, I'd say. So, still going to make this a hardened steel block. I need to find the little corner section, little half corner section actually. Can I find this triangle? There it is. Yeah, that's the exact position I want it in. That there, and you can go here. A little bit. Yeah, that's better. That's better. I think. I hope. What we're looking at now. The weight's going up, which sucks, but yeah, it's got to have something, right? Well, on here, you two need to be hardened steel, so we're going to upgrade. Here, no, you're fine. Just the same the other side, please. Hardened. Yeah, cool. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, what are we looking at now? About the weight of the vessel, 2.59 kilotons, 499838. I'd say this is, aside from aesthetically, I'd say it's fairly done. Anything I need to do now, I'll just use carbon composite to keep the weight right down and the CPU usage. Now I'm being an absolute idiots. There we go. I don't think I like that. Is that the thinnest wall? Is that really the thinnest there is? So that makes me wonder then. There's nothing thinner than that? I guess not. Just the window sort of comes out. I don't like the way the window comes out. I can't have it in the inside, I don't believe, so... Is there a way to have that? No, there isn't. There just isn't. Though they added some more blocks, so let me take a quick look. If we go to... I need armoured windows. This is all armoured windows, I should also add, so... There is adequate protection around here. You see 1000 HP. This is all carbon composite. That's all that's needed for this section here. There's a little section out front here that's got nothing. This all connects down and out. So this is all hardened steel, this is all hardened steel. Whether it needs to be is debatable, but I'm going to tweak this. I'll come back to you at the end when I'm done. I think I would rather have this connected to there, so I'm actually going to... It just looks a little bit... It's sticking out too much, that pipe work. It's not very tasteful, is it? Alright, rounded blocks. Regular steel. I could just make these carbon substrate, but as it's still exterior, I think... And it is just decoration, but... You know what? No, we're going to make it steel anyway. We will do that. There we go. That's probably better once I fill in the gap. Over here. So... Okay. Now let's, with our regular steel block, we will fill this in. Excellent. Over here, fill that in. Okay. That's better. That's just better, I'd say. A little more, yeah, a little bit better. Still need to sort out this mess down here. I want, again with the upgradability, I want it to have room for maybe an not an XL thruster, a large thruster. How much CPU does the large thruster use? You really want to up that lift, right? 133,000. You basically get a million more CPU, so you'd maybe plant a couple of thrusters there, fill up these mediums here. You could make these large thrusters, 0.5 mil, throw a few medium thrusters on the side. You're going to spend a lot of that on engines because you're probably going to want it, because you're going to be carrying a lot of crap by that point of your game. Maybe you want another advanced constructor. Probably just build that here if you wanted it, or against the wall actually would be a good idea. Small constructor there. What about shields? T1. This uses up 181,000. I think there's basically room. Once you upgrade it for all of that. Can't really do too much more of the turrets, but you shouldn't really be using this for combat. It's got enough turrets on it to sort of defend itself from drones, and that's about it. This is not a combat CV, nor would this ever be a combat CV. So, yeah. Either way, I'd say this is basically done, apart from obviously I need to redecorate a lot of things. Is this all steel blocks? This is all steel blocks, and it doesn't need to be. You see? Look at this. This just doesn't need to be. Why are you like that? You don't need to be like that at all. Want to save some weight. So that's the wrong way around. There we go. Over here. We'll just build this there. That is sickening. Do need to keep forgetting that, don't I? What about that random block there? That can finally go. Oh, thank goodness for that. Don't know what I was thinking. Nope, that's all we're on. Of course, there is one particular type of block available, isn't there? There's the walkway. Yeah, that. You could build this, thus giving you more room around here. We have no lights in here apart from up there. That just might be better. The only problem is here. No, that's fine. You can still put a wall block there, can't you? So actually, I wonder if that saves even more weight. 75 kilos, these are 62.5. You are, again, saving just a tiny bit of weight, but it is something. So I've never actually used those walkway blocks. So I think now is probably the time to. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's really not where I was aiming, was it? That's not where I was aiming, but okay. That's the way you want to be. Be that way. Okay, we only need the one door there. That's also a thing. We'll build this here. This is the doorway through. Up here. Why can't you... Ah, the door. Fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. Indeed. Very Right, what have we got? These are automatic doors, not armoured. They don't need to be armoured because they are going to be doing this. Yeah, that's fine. On the outside, please. Yeah, nice. This is fine. Okay, over here though, a little bit of a problem. In terms of aesthetics, this could be a little bit of a problem. Go over here. We maybe build one of these little thin ramp blocks. I don't know what I'm doing here. There we go, something like that. Do each side. Apart from this side. This side I can probably, yeah, I reckon I can get away if maybe doing something like that. Must we do this all along actually? Why is this block not like that? Any particular reason? Okay. Oh, the bloody laugh! I got rid of you. Worst builder ever, ladies and gentlemen. Worst builder ever. Okay, there we go. That's fine. Fine, just fine. I could make this all along here. It's cheap. Doesn't use up much. Does use up a little bit of CPU. But for aesthetics, which, you know, you do have to think about that now and again. In old aesthetics, I could make this the sort of opposing ramp blocks. Like this. That doesn't need to be like that, does it? There we go, like that. Well, that's not going to be there, is it? It's just going to be along here. It's going to be like that. This might change, but yeah, you get the idea. What I'm doing here. It looks a little bit better once it's textured in, especially. Gives it a sleeker feel. And here is the finished model. I feel like it is now done. I am happy with the way it is. Also added motion sensor opening. Look at me becoming a real builder. Oh boy. Close up when you get around here. This looks much nicer with just the sort of outline for the docking pad. Right, this may be a tile. This square here? Yeah, maybe one tile closer, don't know, possibly. Well, we go through here, this is all the same. For some reason, while I was texturing it and finishing off the front as well, we went over the CPU limit again, so I've actually got rid of another fuel tank, which I'm not exactly thrilled about. So if we fill all, this is it without thrusters on, with, no, that is with thrusters on. What am I doing? That's because it's on the ground at the moment, but yeah, it's not great. Thrusters off, 20 hours. We'd kind of like double that, but you can add more fuel tanks whenever you level up the CPU, which is very easy to do. Anyway, in here, a little bit cleaner. Few less container extensions. The ammo locker is back in. We've still got the advanced constructor, though really this could be swapped out for a normal constructor and maybe a small one, maybe even two small ones. One there, one there. That might be much better, actually. I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of mining with this thing, right? Possibly. Either way, I'm kind of liking this. I kind of just threw this on. Maybe this isn't the best look. I don't know. We're going to keep it like that anyway. This is much nicer, I feel. Slopes into here. A lot nicer. The floor. Also numbered up the fridge, or labelled it fridge food. Fridge meds, that one is. Yeah. I quite like the highlights on the edges here as well. This is all still the same. This is a little bit bigger. Added an extra, well, bed just for the sake of. Now if we go over here to the bridge, it's basically the same, just a little bit. I think the texture is a little bit nicer here for the red lights at the bottom there. That's pretty much it. So, final result. Oh, I don't like this. That's just a bit, that just looks like crap. Okay, I may change that. But anyway, here is the final tally. We are at 499927. We are within 100 CPU of the limit. We have pretty much everything we need. Oh, there's also, if we actually go to, no, we can do this from out here. All the different containers I've added as well to separate your goodies. You go up to cargo box, you've got a sell box, which is going to be for mostly armor mods, stuff that you're going to sell on. O2 and fuel is in between the two big, what do you call them, constructors, the input and output. That's it. You got a loot box, which is about 24k storage. No, 32 actually, that's not bad, is it? Got a pentaxid tank, this is for spare pentaxid, obviously. Always good to put it there. You've also got, if you go down to, there's loot, you've got the ammo box as well. The ammo box is now just 24,000. But that's all you need, because all you're doing is giving this thing 15 and 30mm ammo. And it's just got some cannon turrets and minigun turrets on it. 5 turrets in total. So there you go, there's the final... Oops, that's missing... that's not symbols, the opposite of symbols, textures. Really? Yeah, that's better. There's probably going to be a few bits missed. So yeah, this is it. I think the neck section here is a little... is better. It's definitely better. I could probably add something here, but I wonder if that'll... No, Don't take it over. Would that be better? What do you think? Or just keep it like that? Maybe if I just use the triangle block. Like this. Oops. How if I use it? That. That. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I think of this. Especially with this dip here. It'll do. It'll do anyway. It's a bit different, isn't it? So what is that? Now the new final count. It is 499951. We're within 50 CPU. Yeah, but this is a little bit better, I think it's safe to say. So even if you lose this thruster at the front, you've got a couple here which are quite well protected. As you see there, you can't actually get to the thrusters without getting through some hardened steel first. So that's pretty good. Everything around here is hardened steel. So even when you do upgrade the CPU, you don't really need to do much because the chances are what you're going to do is throw a shield in here instead. So there we go. That's it. If you do like this and would like this on the workshop for whatever ridiculous reason, then just let me know. I can do that. Also, while I was doing this, if you look at the top left hand of the screen, you can see Alpha 11.1. So I believe the Wednesday this comes out, this particular video, following this on the Saturday will be the final week of my 10.6, which has actually gone into 11 now, playthrough. I'm going to start a new one the following Saturday, but I'm going to need your help to decide what concept I'm going to do. But there'll be a video, a separate video on that anyway. So yeah, anyway, in regards to this, if you do like it, then let me know. I can throw it up on the workshop. It's a good upgradable CV. As this sort of starter slash mid-game this could be if you swap out all the turrets. The only thing is the hangar is really small. I mean, this is a small hangar. I can fit the Zul flyer in, just about, but it's too wide, you have to sort of fly it in diagonally. So you'd have a mining vessel and a pretty good SV, is the way you would use this. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. And next week I will still be doing this little creative sesh, having a little bit of fun with CPU and such. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. Maybe I'll bring out the Legacy, see if it's possible to bring that into CPU limits. If not, it'll be something else. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.